Okay, in this example, we're going to be graphing the equation y equals 1/2 x minus 3. This is in slope-intercept form, so we'll be using slope-intercept form to help us graph it. The y equals mx plus b. B is our y-intercept, and m is slope. So with this particular equation, now one important thing is that y-intercept and slope aren't about the order that the equation is written in. It's more about how it's connected to the variable x. The y-intercept is connected by addition and or subtraction here. Since we have a minus 3, our y connected to the x by addition and subtraction, our y-intercept is going to be minus 3. So our b is -3, which is again is the y-intercept. And for slope, slope is connected to x by multiplication. So in this case, what's connected to x by multiplication is the number 1/2. So that is our slope. So m is 1/2, which is slope. Okay, now that I have those two pieces of information, I'll go ahead and start by plotting the y-intercept. So y-intercept is at -3, so along the y-axis, I will plot the y-intercept at -3. Then for my slope is 1/2. So slope is rise over run. That's the easiest way using slope with a graph. So what we'll do is we will rise 1 and go over 2. Moving in the rightwards direction there. So we're going to start, oh yeah, it's a lightsaber. So we're going to start here at the -3, and we're going to go up 1 and then over 2. So we'll plot our next point right here at the at 2, -2. And then we can continue from there and go up 1 and over 2 more if we need to draw in more lines and plot another point. Then once we have enough dots to draw our graph in, we will draw our straight line in as best we can here. And there we go. In this example, we're going to be graphing the equation y equals -2x plus 1. Since this is in slope-intercept form, we're going to be using slope in the y-intercept to graph it. So remember that the y-intercept is a number connected by addition and subtraction, represented by the letter b, connected by addition and subtraction to x. So in our case here, 1 is the number connected by addition and subtraction to the x. So our y-intercept is 1, or b is 1. As far as slope goes, slope is the number connected to x by multiplication. So we have the m here representing slope, and the number connected to x by multiplication is this -2. So our slope is -2. Now that we have that, we can plot our information. So we're going to start by doing the y-intercept, which is 1. So along the y-axis, we have a y value of 1 right there. Our slope is -2, which means we are going to be going -2 as a fraction is -2/1. So we will be going down 2 and to the right 1. So from where I'm currently at, I'm going to be going down 1, 2, and to the right 1. And this will be my next spot right here at 1, -1. And then we can continue following that same pattern if we need more points. Once you have enough points in there, just draw your line in. And there we have it. Okay, in this example, we're going to be writing the equation for the line graph below. This is a linear equation, so we're going to be using the slope-intercept form of linear equation to help us write the equation. So y equals mx plus b. In order to use this form of the equation, we need two pieces of information. We need the b, which is the y-intercept. We can get that pretty easily just by looking at the graph. You can see the y-axis right along here. The y-intercept is here at -2. So y-intercept found. B, or the y-intercept, is -2. Slope, a little bit more work for that. So slope is represented by the letter M. You can do this in one of two ways. You can either use the rise over run, or you can use the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Doesn't matter, just whichever way you're more comfortable with. But either way, we need to identify 2 points to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and use one of them as the y-intercept. And I'll use the other one as this point right here because it looks like it goes to the crosshairs. So we're going to be using the points 0, -2, and 1, -1. Now, when it's in the form of a graph, it is usually easier to just use this form of the equation, or form of the slope equation, just because you can do it by counting. That is, assuming the x and y axes are counting by the same number. If the x and y axes are not counting by the same number, it's better to use that one. Since they're all counting by ones, I'm just going to use rise over run. I recommend starting on the left point, so start farther to the left, deal with the rise. We're going up by 1 unit, so our rise is 1, and then we are going to the right 1, so my run is also 1. Just move from one point to the other. If I reduce that, 1 divided by 1 is 1. Now we have enough information to write the equation, so our equation will be y equals m, which is slope, we found to be 1, x plus b, which is -2, so I'm going to put -2. So we can write it as y equals 1x minus 2, or y equals x minus 2, because the 1 is an implied number when connected to x by multiplication. In this example, we're asked to write the equation for a line with a slope of 3/2 and goes through the point 4, 7. Now we could do this with a couple different versions of the formula, but we're going to be using slope-intercept form. You could also use the point-slope form, but again, we're just going to use slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. When we're using slope-intercept form, we need two things. We need the slope, which we actually do have the slope of 3/2, and we also need the y-intercept. Well, the point 47, unfortunately, is not the y-intercept. So what we're going to do is we're going to use all the information that's given to us to figure out what the y-intercept is. We know a slope, we know an m, and we also know an x and a y value. So I'm just going to plug in all the information I know and solve for what's missing. So my y value I know is 7. My slope is 3/2. My x value I know is 4. I don't know what b is. This will allow me to find the y-intercept. Just like when you're solving normal equations, simplify the sides. So I'm going to do 3/2 times 4. 3/2 times 4 is 6. I'm going to try to make my 6's nice and obvious. So we have 6 plus b equals 7. Then we just have to get b by itself. So we'll subtract the 6 from both sides, leaving us with 1 equals b. So I know my y-intercept now is 1. And again, what my goal was to write an equation for the linear equation. And in order to do that, we needed both the slope and y-intercept. I now have my slope of 3/2 and my y-intercept of 1. Notice I left x and y as x and y. When you're writing the equation for a line, x and y will stay x and y. You'll just fill in the m's and b's.